Oh, sorry about that. Thought I was clicking the link from last week, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Did it make you put a passcode
I've been
in to
sitting there for
join?
like 20 minutes waiting for you guys. Classic.
Type anything. I just clicked the fucking link and it just like popped up.
It didn't make you put like a password in or anything, right?
Just now, no. But I clicked the link that you sent last week. That's what I was waiting on. I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know if that's different or what. I set the invitation to your Yahoo email. So if you like accept the invitation, it should just pop up like 10 minutes beforehand or something.
30 minutes prior.
The gambling lines have moved a little bit since I was updating.
Just coming to Baltimore. Fuck you.
Who?
I had to write it on there, dude. I knew as soon as when I was typing it, I was like, Rogers, I wrote this.
Fuck you.
Taylor Swift coming to Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, I have to say it.
Ronnie's tweet was awesome. Stop.
Oh, yeah,
I should say.
Yeah.
Before we kick this thing off, let me go get one more drink.
Yeah, you're gonna need them. Golf is dumb.
What if we did this from our bathrooms?
One droopy poopy podcast.
Come up with a toilet-based name for it.
What's Foy doing right now? Did we ever get his schedule for the day?
He I brought it to his attention, and then he was on board, and then his fucking fiance lost her engagement ring. So he's
oh no,
he's not the happiest. He's not the happiest human being at the moment.
Oh.
She lost her. The irony of this, she lost her engagement ring at the same place she received.
Oh my God.
She took it off to wash her hands, and then doesn't know where it went, and it physically cannot fall in the same way like our whatever the drain is, the grate that goes over top of the drain. It's a ring can't physically fit down it. So she must have put it on like the side and someone took it, or she knocked it over and then kicked it, and then at that point it could be fucking anywhere.
Hopefully he has the insurance. If not, he needs to do that like now and then file a claim tomorrow.
He does. He has the insurance. They had to file like a fucking police report.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I guess like in order for the claim to go through, you got to have the police report.
Yeah, it's not an insignificant amount of money.
We'll get in touch with Foy next week. How about
that? Yeah, let's get happy.
Yeah.
What happy Foy? I would not be happy about it.
Got the he walked into Chaucer. He walks into Chaucer and just looks at me and goes,
"Looks like we're using some shit today."
God, man, I don't even know what.
Hillary, like the nerve she had calling him to tell him gave me like crazy anxiety. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing she could do to whatever. Life goes on. Who wants to intro us today? Who wants to be the energy?
I do not.
Brooks, you can do it. You did a good job last week.
Your thing, man.
All right, let's get this started off with another episode of the Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast. Maybe one day we'll explain to you what that's all about, but today's not that day. Great weekend of football, guys. A lot more entertaining, at least. Obviously, let's start with the other games. We'll end with the Ravens because we'll probably sit on that for a little bit. But first game of the weekend was who? That was 49er. No, Ravens were the first game of the weekend. So after that, 49ers Packers. Let's start there. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the entire game. Everyone's making a huge deal about Brock Purdy and not being able to throw a spiral with the rain, with or without a glove. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty surprised on how, I mean, like everybody, the Packers kept this thing, or actually outplayed the 49ers for probably 50 minutes of this game, really.
They controlled the game.
49ers looked flat. They looked how I was afraid the Ravens might look in their game.
I think the Packers did a great job keeping the ball out of the hands of Brock Purdy for the most part in the first half. Aaron Jones was really good. He had over 100 yards. And they were just pounding him the whole game. I don't think A.J. Dillon even got a touch. I don't know if he was healthy or what, but Aaron Jones was getting the bulk of the carries, and he looked great. It was a little ugly because of the rain, but yeah, Purdy didn't look good in the early part of the game at all. But when they needed him to make a drive, they made a drive at the end, and that field goal missed for the Packers really was the nail in the coffin for them. That was as soon as he missed that field goal, you could kind of feel it. And Vegas was all over it too. When they were down by 4, they needed a touchdown at the end of the game, and they're minus 160 favorites, down by 4 with 5 minutes left. I think everyone could feel it after the Packers missed that field goal.
Never seen Kyle Shanahan get out coached. I mean, they had a 5-man front, so they basically stopped the run the entire time, played great coverage on Kittle, and basically said to the Niners, Brock Purdy's going to have to make some deep, clutch throws, and he couldn't do it. And it's a shame the Packers lost. I understand why they lost, but it was just a phenomenal game plan, and it just didn't get fully executed for the full 60 minutes.
Yeah, super surprising because, I mean, we said last week how suspect the Packers defense is, and then now this is 2 straight games that they come out and played great because I was on the bandwagon. Like, Joe Barry needs to be fucking fired yesterday for how bad this defense has been for a couple of years. But like you guys said, kudos to them. Their game plan looked phenomenal because I thought McCaffrey, if I was putting a bet on this game, I was taking McCaffrey rushing yards over with a week of recovery and everything like that. Yeah, this is
Debo went out.
What's that?
When you lose Debo too, I mean, you're thinking like, okay, they're just going to McCaffrey.
Yeah, that was 5 or 10 snaps into the game. Debo goes out and he's out for the game. That changes, I'm sure, their whole game plan.
Any update on him? Has anybody heard anything? I heard possibly some kind of fracture in his shoulder.
They said he's 50-50, a true 50-50 call for the game this coming weekend.
Shoulder that he hurt in the Cleveland game earlier in the year.
That he missed a couple games with earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna get himself a shot at Toradol.
Yeah.
they're
He's
gonna
gonna do their best.
they're gonna put a brace on that shoulder. It just might not. I mean, it's gonna be tough to catch a ball with a brace on that shoulder, but I think he's gonna play. He'll definitely get some burn in the run game. Are we crediting? I mean, I just said it. Are we gonna credit the Packers defense for how good they played? Are we crediting the 49ers just coming out flat after having 2 weeks off?
I'm going to credit the defense on this one. I just thought it was a great game plan.
Yeah, I think the Packers defense played about as well in the situation. I think that you were nailing the head with LaFleur coming up with a great game plan and keeping the ball out of Purdy's hands as much as possible. And Purdy, like we said, struggled, and that defense was a big part of it.
Somebody asked LaFleur after the game, like, if he's going to give up play calling duties, and what the fuck is that about? I don't like. I know.
Yeah, I think based on where they were halfway through the season, back that we're even talking about them, they had a chance to beat the Niners in the playoffs. I think they had a very successful year, and I think Jordan Love moving forward. I think Jordan Love looked great, especially the second half of the season. I don't think you can really knock LaFleur at all. If you want to knock anybody, you can knock the D coordinator late in the year, but I think I don't think they need to be making any changes coaching wise.
First play of the game was fucking Jordan Love trying to throw across his body 35 fucking yards across the middle. You can't do that. You can't go against the grain like that. That's nothing to do with LaFleur or his play calling.
Yes. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Young guy trying to make a play, probably didn't need to make that kind of play, and then their season's over. But look, they were not the better team. The Niners were the better team, and they won.
Yeah.
But the Packers took it to them, and look, they covered. Good teams win, great teams cover. So,
yeah, I just didn't expect the Packers to control that game for 50 minutes. That was fucking nuts. I think we said it last week. I don't know if we said it last week or not. Packers teams have been rough all year, and they kind of came back to rear their head in this one. Kind of cost them in this one. Other than that, we got
move on to Lions, Bucks.
49ers. Well, yeah, let's go on the Lions.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dustin. I'll let you take that one.
It seemed like it was a close game the whole way score-wise, but it seemed to me like the Lions were in control the whole game. And then that really came out in the fourth quarter. They came out, touchdown, forced a 3 and out, scored another touchdown right away at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and that was pretty much it. Kudos to Baker. He did come back and, make it interesting. But when they got the ball back down 8 with 2 minutes left, I didn't think he was going to go down the field and score. I don't know what you guys thought. What do you guys think about that game?
The Lions are a product of their city. That stadium sounded so fucking loud during the pregame commentary from Tony Dungy and all those guys like Mike Florio and Chris Sims. So I think the Lions really fed off their home crowd more than any other team in the playoffs so far. I really thought the game might swing to the Bucs when they completed that 4th and 14 to Mike Evans. And I'm like, holy shit, wait a minute. It was 31-17 and they go down and they score a touchdown right away. I don't understand why the fuck they went for 2.
This is a new analytics thing that the nerds of football love to view. Your odds go slightly up if you're down by 14 and you score and you go for 2. Your odds of avoiding overtime and winning the game of regulation are slightly higher. I think what people miss about that though is the energy in the stadium is so high, and if that Lions crowd, like you said, was crazy. If you don't get that 2-point conversion, you lose so much momentum, and that's not something that analytics can quantify.
Yeah, have a feel. Have a feel.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I mean, take in analytics. I'm all for analytics, love them, but I mean, also there needs to be like a have a feel for the game factor. Maybe that was his feel. Maybe, I mean, who knows? But
read a room.
Yeah, I mean, And if it was his feel, I would disagree with it. Like you said, like I'm trying to get that game to overtime. And to be honest with you, I don't think Baker played all that bad. There's just a ton of balls that should have been caught. He was, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Collinsworth was saying a bunch like he's throwing fastballs and maybe a little bit of touch would help him out a little bit. I'm like, you know what? No, catch the fucking ball. I mean, help your guy out. The guy's putting it where you can get it.
And they've got two multiple like huge contract receivers. You got to be making those plays through those guys.
Even Evans had like 2 balls go through his hands, I believe. I know at least one.
He killed it. You can't really blame him. He had 8 for 150 and a touchdown. Like he couldn't have played much.
Yeah. Besides, he couldn't have played much better. But just off the top of my head, even a guy like Mike Evans, who's going to go into the Hall of Fame, I believe. He dropped 2 balls that I can think of that.
Yep.
You know. Yeah, I agree with you. It felt like Detroit's game. They controlled the game the entire way. I'm
You
still
think that's Mike Evans' last game as a Buccaneer?
I don't know. That's a great question. Is that it? Is this the last year of his contract?
He wanted a new deal, and they played hardball with him, and he actually played it out, and he did exactly what you'd want a player to do. But he's got to be pissed. He's got to be.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
the only one.
franchise leader in every category, every receiving category. He's been there for 10 years. He's been one of the best 10 receivers in the league all 10 years.
He's had over. I think I saw a stat that he's had over 1,000 yards every year of his career.
Every year of his career,
no matter who the quarterback is at Tampa Bay. I mean, I know he's had Brady for 3 and now Baker, but before then, I mean,
it was a Josh Freeman hellscape of quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston was putting up yards though.
Oh yeah,
he turned the ball over 3 times a game, but he'd throw for 300 yards a game.
Yeah,
the guy's like the modern day Brett Favre.
I do want to give props to Jared Goff. I've talked a lot of shit about Jared Goff, and eating W's. That's Jameis. That's a classic Jameis. I've talked a lot of shit about Jared Goff. He did have the one throw in the end zone that they probably should have picked off, but other than that, he looked good. He had almost 300 yards, touchdowns. Didn't make that stupid Jared Goff play that he always seems to make. And Jahmyr Gibbs, every time he touches the ball, is just like lightning in a bottle. I think that guy's so freaking good. He was 9-10 yards of touch, over 100 yards. He scored a huge touchdown for them in the second half. And St. Brown and Laporta it's two as good a security blankets as you're going to find in the NFL. And I
holy shit. Yeah. They killed it in that draft. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs has shown that he was probably a better pick than Bijan Robinson. Robinson was good. He was really good. But Jahmyr Gibbs, and I know we're seeing him now in the playoffs in bigger games and self-standing games. But the Lions took a lot of fucking heat for taking Gibbs. I think it was 12th overall.
A lot of heat
like that in the first round. And
everyone said that was a reach.
Fucking Pats and room.
Their first 3 picks were a running back, a linebacker, and a safety. 3 of arguably the least important positions that you would think analytically. And in all 3 of those guys are studs. Jack Campbell was a great linebacker this year. Brian Branch jumps off the screen on defense for them out of Alabama at safety. And we just talked about Gibbs. He's just crazy. He's so good.
Dude, and I love how they
named Laporta.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention Laporta.
Yeah,
I didn't even mention Laporta. He's the best. He's probably the best tight end in the league now, right? Like him or Hopkins. The ghost of Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Yeah, they nailed it, and I love how they just go after their guys unapologetically. So, that's why they said they went after Jahmyr Gibbs. They said he fit in with the culture of their team, which is fucking awesome. I love that.
Absolutely.
kid Reynolds, number 13. I forget his first name, but his last name was Reynolds.
Josh
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
He
Or
scored
Craig
that
Reynolds.
touchdown.
There's two.
Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds.
He's their punt returner.
Yeah.
He had a rushing touchdown in the game.
I know.
I mean, and they kept him because he was their culture. He was, they said he felt like a lion, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
But they kept him for the culture purpose. And obviously it pays off. And they showed something in like one of the highlights in the game prior to the game. I'm sorry. They showed him throwing a block to allow Amon St. Brown run. And he just fucking decleats a dude. And like, that's what you want. The guy screams Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, they almost remind you of one of those old like Steelers, Ravens, like run the ball first and everything's physical. Hines Ward's coming across and throwing these fucking monster blocks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I fucking love that.
We were talking yesterday. It's Ravens Lions in the Super Bowl. We got to call it the Crime Bowl. Because the two cities have the most.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard Baltimore's back under 300 from last year.
They still want revenge for Delman Young too.
That's awesome.
I think we can move on to Chiefs Bills. What did you guys think about this game?
Go ahead, bro.
Right. The two words you never want to fucking hear if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. I mean, I thought great game on both sides. It's awesome seeing two Titans at the quarterback position go after each other. The Bills just can't get over that proverbial hump. And how they can fix it, I don't really know. They got some contracts that are going to screw them. I do not think Stephon Diggs is back next year. He seems like a cancer. But I do think in regards to the game, I didn't get a chance to watch all of it because of work, but it's just so great seeing those two quarterbacks go after it.
I mean, to reiterate what I think every sports show and podcast is saying, this just reminds you of the old Tom Brady Peyton Manning rivalry. It's awesome. It's going to keep going for years to come. I mean, it's going to be right. It's going to be Allen, Mahomes, hopefully Lamar. AFC has no shortage of quarterbacks.
Burrow, Stroud,
when
Dustin
he gets
Herbert. I mean, there's a lot of talent.
Burrow and Lamar are going to beat up on themselves in the division every year, and we'll see who makes it out. Burrow and Jackson. Yeah, but I mean, I love it. Everyone's probably sick of seeing like the Buffalo Chiefs, but I mean, every single time it's must watch television. That was an amazing game last night. Every single time they play in the playoffs, it's an amazing game.
No one scored in the fourth quarter, and it felt like I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. You know what I mean? Like that never happens. That rarely happens in today's day and age of football, where it's just your eyes are glued to the TV when those two guys are playing. And I mean, Josh Allen in the red zone looks like prime Cam Newton. Like if they're inside the 5, they're
great
scoring.
Comparison there, by the way.
It's ridiculous. Like he is just so much bigger and faster and more physical than everybody in the red zone. He is as good of a weapon as I can imagine.
Who wants to tackle that guy?
And not me. I do. His center, Mitch Morse, was on McAfee earlier in the week, and he was saying that like they were talking about how like Josh Allen needs to get down, and he says Mitch Morse said, "That fucker will be 30 yards ahead of me, and I'll be screaming, get the fuck down."
I love it.
Hey, you know what? Like any other time, I'd agree with him, but this is playoffs, baby. You go fucking win. Do everything you can to win the game at this point.
Something about Pacheco when he runs. I'm not comparing his skill set to Adrian Peterson, but for whatever reason, that guy, like, his mechanics of running, he looks like Adrian Peterson. He runs like a maniac. He looks insane when he runs, but it's so effective, and he's really fun to watch.
Yeah, his
legs just stays the same plane the entire time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
His legs just keep on churning, and he doesn't seem like that. But he seems like a smaller guy. But I might be wrong here. But I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, he runs way heavier than he is.
Yeah, he runs hard for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not the game. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they struck gold. They struck gold again. I mean, for whatever reason, the Chiefs is the Chiefs, as McAfee likes to say.
The one thing, and this has to do with the game, but not actually on the field. Fuck the fans for throwing snowballs all over the goddamn place. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
Do we need to hurt somebody? I mean,
yeah. I mean, God forbid, hit somebody on the field and completely alters the game.
Man, like, I mean, that's a question that we don't have an answer to, but look, there's got to be something in the book. That someone throwing hit with the battery during the game. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's I don't get me wrong, I love Bills Mafia. They are one of the funnest, if not the funnest fan base. But I mean that shit's got to stop. That's like old school Philly throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. I mean, I think it was what last week or whenever, like there's snowballs coming in while a ball's in the air in the end zone for the opposing team. Like just fucking stop. I mean,
yeah.
Mahomes is trying to go get a little kid his whatever something, and you're throwing snowballs at him. Like, who cares, man? Like, it's not that. Yeah. Like, we want our team to win. Like, throw all the stuff. Throw all the snow in the air. Like, I love all that after touchdowns. That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun. We don't need to throw them. We don't need to throw them at players. Come on, guys. Throw a dildo on the field. That's all funny. We don't need to hurt anybody. As much as I love them, that's got to stop.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about Ravens. We got to talk about Ravens next week, guys.
Well, before we move on, how about fucking Jason Kelce?
Oh my God.
as if you couldn't love a human more than everybody already loves him. Seeing all the shit that came out him at tailgates beforehand. And I loved how Bills Mafia just embraced him at the tailgate. They were like, fuck yeah, come drink with us. And
yeah, absolutely.
There's some chest manicure going on there. There was some hair here, but no hair here. And that's a big burly bear. Dude, I think I'm shaving down here.
He's picking. There was a video I watched earlier on Instagram of him picking up a couple of little girls from the crowd and introducing them to Taylor Swift, like really physically picking them up out of the crowd and taking them into the box so they could see Taylor Swift. I mean, he's just like the coolest dude ever. You can't. He's got to have the highest approval rating of anybody I've ever seen in the NFL. Like nobody dislikes that guy. Like it's insane.
Yeah, hard to, man. And every time I watch him, like, I hate that his retirement got leaked or whatever, and he hasn't been able to do his official release yet. But every single time that like it gets brought up or you see him like start talking about that, he's just like a big emotional bear. He just starts getting teared up every single time he starts thinking about like his whole career leading up to that moment. And like, this is probably it. He hasn't officially announced it to the media, but I think we all know he wants to do it the right way and thank everybody the right way. So, I didn't know that, Dustin. That's really cool that he was picking up little girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To Taylor Swift, that made their life, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's the biggest star on the planet. Probably their biggest hero in the world. Like,
did we lose Brian?
And might up. He looks frozen.
At least he's happy. Just a happy guy.
You want
Brian can hear us. You're back.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
There we are. I don't know what happened there.
You're good. All right. We lost you
here. I'm just sitting here.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you go to the secret hideout. I'm not going to mention any names. And try to use their Wi-Fi on this.
Yeah. On the topic, really quick before we go to the Ravens, I know we gotta get there. The Michelle Tafoya leaking or commenting or referencing that Travis Kelce might retire. That caught me off guard. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. So what do we know about that? Did she quote sources?
He is saying, don't be surprised. She basically said on her podcast or some sort of sports talk show that that she is getting intel that you should not be surprised that if Travis Kelce will be retiring at the end of the season along with his brother Jason. But once again, we don't know if Jason's retiring. We assume he probably is. But Travis Kelce, 34 years old. He obviously looked great today. He had 2 touchdowns, but I mean, you talk to any football fan, you know, this whole year, it wasn't the same old Mahomes Kelce that we're used to seeing. So does he kind of say, hey, look, we're in the AFC Championship game. I'm probably one of the biggest stars in football right now. My game is not where I want to be. Does he just say, hey, do we want to hang it up after this? Or does he want to keep going, keep giving it a run? I'm sure he's thought about it, but
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way you can.
To what Brian said, to what Brian said, am I caught off guard? Yes. But then after it's said and you think about it, I'm like, oh, would I be that surprised? No. I mean, he's probably got a fiance or a wife coming into play, which maybe they want to start a family at some point, and he's 34 years old, like you said. I mean, he's probably not going to say anything now, especially steal any shine from his brother. But would I be surprised after thinking about it? No. I mean, I wouldn't blame him, but that did come out of left field for me. It wasn't on my radar.
Yeah.
I mean, they're set for life now, right? He's going every freaking commercial now, making crazy money. Taylor Swift's a billionaire, so.
But if she's going to be coming to the big crab cake, got to talk about that.
Let's show him some Baltimore hospitality and welcome in Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce. I hope Jason Kelce joins the Ravens fans out there. That'll be somebody shoot Jason Kelce wherever we think we can get a hold of him best, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, something, and say, he should go to wherever Be More around town is having their tailgate. Go there and chug a beer with some Ravens fans. I'm sure they would actually appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sure Jimmy Seafood already put out something.
Yeah, they probably put the bird call out.
I have a couple of friends who went to the Be More around town tailgate this week. Stavi was there, and they said it was super cool just hanging out with Stavi for a couple hours.
Stavi, Jimmy Smith, Jermaine. Who else was there? Somebody else was there. Another
sideline was like a Baltimore sports haven of legends. Like Carmelo Anthony and Rudy Gay were there on the sideline. Jamal Lewis was there. Ray Lewis was there. Like there was guys all over the place. It was awesome.
Cal was there. Peyton was there. Cal was there.
Cal's the biggest figure in Baltimore history in sports.
Yeah.
Watch it.
But we got to talk about the game. Lamar.
Yeah. Do we have any big injuries from the game that I'm not aware of?
That's the biggest thing.
Back? Yeah.
Not as far as I know. Other than Jordan Stout's confidence, I think that was the biggest hit we took.
Okay.
We are thinking that we might get Andrews and or Humphrey back this week, which would be awesome. But I mean, likely looks like he's one of the better tight ends in the league, and he's not even the best tight end on the team. I mean, it's crazy.
I thought we dominated. I mean, obviously, they said that Lamar really went off on the team at halftime. We looked like a stagnant team to start. But damn it, we came out hard and put our foot on their necks. I was really happy to see that. And I mean, look, our defense didn't give up a damn point except for a field goal. It didn't give up a touchdown. They only gave up a field goal. So mean, I just thought in all stages of the game, we looked like we were the dominant team. I don't think they actually, were there any, I want to say like the Texans had like 3 first downs in the second half, or maybe 4 total.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad. They had just over 200 yards total. They had 38 rushing yards. Before the game, Devin Singletary's over-under was like 60 yards. I was like, there's no way he's going to get 60 yards against our defense. And I think he had 20. But, I mean, Lamar just looked like the best player in the league in the second half. He was running wherever he wanted to. He was throwing it wherever he wanted to. He had so much time in the pocket, and he just looked so much more comfortable. In the first half, he looked like he was kind of throwing, like doing the Lamar thing where he kind of throws the ball like 100 miles an hour when you don't need to. And in the second half, he really tamed it down, and he just looked a lot better. And our defense kudos to our defense for just getting off the field and giving Lamar as many chances as he could with the ball.
And Brooks, before you jump in, I mean, it kind of goes back to what I mentioned last week, that having playoff experience now really showed this past week. I really think we would have frozen up and probably come out stagnant again in the second half. We didn't have that playoff experience. I just think it really showed.
Yeah, I would agree. And dude, this fucking defense, man, holy hell,
Yeah,
Killers.
they're good.
yeah,
They are good. I mean, as bad. I mean, I shouldn't say as bad. As much improvement as Brandon Stevens has had from year to year. Oh my goodness. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. I'm really happy to see Kyle Hamilton's injury wasn't that bad. I can't believe we didn't bring that up last week. Actually, I didn't think about it, but first play of the game and I see Kyle Hamilton, and I'm like, oh, I completely forgot like he got hurt in that last game, and we were all worried about it. But I actually
dactyls.
What's that?
He looks like a pterodactyl. He's so long.
Yeah, he's all over the plate. Like he's in every play, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like you can't throw the ball around him. Like you said, like his wingspan.
That play where he almost had an interception, they showed the replay, and he fucking just reads it and beelines. He ran into the ball. He's ran to the fucking ball. It was unreal. His wherewithal is second to none in the game right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, dude. This deep, if anything, like 10 points isn't terrible. Like, I mean, is it terrible for the Ravens offense this year? Yes, for the first half. And we were sputtering a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, with like the way our defense is playing, man, like I truly believe like no matter who we play, they'll at least keep us somewhere close to where like if they figure it the fuck out, we can get back in any game. Like they're not going to let any game get away from us.
Yeah. And if we win the Super Bowl, knock on wood, it's going to be because of our defense. I do not believe it's going to be because of our offense. And that's not a knock on the offense. It just means the defense that is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even with the shitty offense, right? Like they'll hold any team in a game long enough for them to try to figure it out at least.
I mean, Matabike is in the quarterback's crotch almost every fucking play.
Crazy. He's gonna get paid next year by whoever picks him up. It ain't gonna be us, but whoever picks him up.
We can afford him, but we can't afford him and Queen. I think we got to pay Matabike, and Queen needs to walk. He needs to walk. I mean, Roquan is the star of the linebacker. I know Queen has really improved the last couple of years, especially. But we can't afford to keep them both. And Matabike makes a bigger impact on the game in my opinion.
Yeah,
and Roquan, holy shit.
Yeah, he's just unbelievably consistent. He's like the perfect leader for a defense because he's so consistent and he's so smart.
Yeah, going back to the Detroit comment, Roquan fits Baltimore. Like he just fits. Like it just. He should have been here from day one coming out of Georgia.
Yeah, it's like he modeled his game like he wanted to be Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, minus all the flair and fluff and pregame speech stuff. he's incredible. So consistent.
Yeah. Ray's going to be coming out of the tunnel next week, right? I mean, I can't imagine he's not. I mean, Nelly's going to be getting hot and creating the big crab cake next week. I think. I think it could be crazy not to.
Jimmy Seaford should get Nelly to actually perform.
They should, yeah.
He performed at Raven Stadium during one game, didn't he? Like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This is where I
They've
wish
had a couple of musical guests.
This is where I wish Omar was still alive. Come out of the tunnel.
I know.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I wish
you guys.
I wish they were playing like a night game because those intros would be phenomenal.
Can we All Blacks? Are we allowed to pick our jersey for the playoffs? I know you're limited during the season, but I wonder how that works. Because I would love to see the All Blacks.
I'd love to see the All Blacks too. That would be amazing.
I bet it's traditional. I bet they force them. They let them wear black pants though this last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a good question.
You guys want to piggyback this Ravens talk straight into the preview versus Kansas City? What do you guys like? When you were watching the game yesterday, did you want to play KC or did you want to play Buffalo?
I want to play KC. I wanted to play KC.
100% agree.
I want to play. I don't know. This is a loaded question. Why? I guess tell me why. Tell me why you want to play KC, and then I'll give you my reasoning.
I want to play KC because their skill position players are struggling. Travis Kelce, even though he scored 2 touchdowns, is obviously not the same. He is hurt in some capacity. I don't.
Kyle Hamilton's following him the entire game, right?
100%, without a doubt. He's going to be. He's going to
100%.
Yeah, he's going to be in his pants.
Yeah.
And I want to play KC because I don't think they're the quality of a team that Buffalo is. Also, Buffalo reminds me of the Ravens in regards to just like beat you up, brawl, get after you. KC is more finesse to me. That's why I wanted to play KC.
I think we had the advantage over KC. I think KC, Mahomes is ridiculous. I mean, there's no getting around it. He's ridiculous and he's terrifying to play. And, but they are not the same team around him that they have been in the last 5 years. I don't think they're even close to as good. They've had problems all year long. And at some point, him just willing them to victory is not going to be enough. And I think our team is good enough to expose the weaknesses of this team. And like we just talked about, Kyle Hamilton's going to be on Kelce's ass the whole game. And Kyle Hamilton's the best safety in the league. I mean, in my opinion, he's the best safety in the league, and he's 22 years old. And he's going to match up so well against Kelce. We have answers for all of the things that they do on offense. Well, we had answers for him. Great way to put it. Yeah. And I just think Buffalo, the reason I didn't want to play them is because they're so erratic. Yeah, Josh Allen has games where he throws 3 picks, but he has games where he runs 3 touchdowns and throws 2 more. Like, it's just the range of outcomes with Buffalo is so much different. I think consistently we play KC. We're going to win that game. I think 7-8 times out of 10. So give me KC. I'd love to play them. What do you think, Brooke?
No, go ahead, Brian.
But the one game that the Ravens actually got outclassed was when Deshaun Watson was running all over the field on us. And not that Mahomes can't run, but Josh Allen is known for running. And I did not want to see that shit. So I'm glad that we're getting Mahomes. It sounds so weird that I'm actually asking for Patrick Mahomes to come to Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't blame you at all. I don't
say what you want. Before like, and I agree with everything that you guys said, but like I don't want the people that have been through all this shit before and figured out a way to win. Also, my first, like, if I'm sitting down looking before like last night's game happens, it's like, who do you want to play? The reason why I would say the Bill, like, who do I want to play? I want to play I mean, everybody wants to play a good team and say you beat the good team, right? Like, and that's why I would say Kansas City. And I would think that I would rather play the Bills because their defense is fucking crippled right now, man. They
Damn.
have so many injuries. I think that we would run the score up on them at this point. But on the flip side, I just think that KC's offense is, I shouldn't say inept, but like they've got Rice, they've got Rasheed Rice, and they've got Kelce. Other than that, who do we got?
Pacheco.
That's what I mean. But like we
No.
got guys that can stick with those two. We're not gonna. It's not like we're facing Miami again, or Miami didn't even have Waddle. But it's not like you got Waddle, Tyreek, and
Yeah.
all these fucking fast guys that you got to figure out a way to cover. We got to cover two guys, and our run defense is phenomenal.
It's unbelievable.
And just I'm putting Queen spying on, or whoever you want to put. I mean, it seems like everybody on our defense is fast enough to, besides corners. Like I don't want a corner trying to tackle Allen, but I don't know if I want like the lesser of two teams, the lesser of two evils, I would want the Bills, but I am happy that the Chiefs are coming in. Like I love the fact that we have to beat Patrick Mahomes. He's never, they said this last night, he's never not been to an AFC Championship game in his career. That's since he's been starting. That's nuts. Like we're about to say, well,
Shit, really?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's six straight
They've been to
AFC
Championship game every year.
That is unheard of.
Yesterday was the first game
he has played on the road in the playoffs, by the way. Yeah, that's nuts too.
And you know what? And what scares me a little bit is seeing some of the interviews today. They loved being in that atmosphere, dude. They loved being like the villain. They loved being the villain.
They did.
And that kind of scares me a little bit.
I mean, and the Andy Reid factor also scares me. Obviously been there, great schemer. You know, I don't trust Sean McDermott with a $5 bill. So yeah, I mean, the Andy Reid factor does scare me a little bit, but when we won the Super Bowl in 2012, we had to slay all of our dragons. So we had to beat our former team, the Colts.
That's right.
We had to beat Peyton Manning, and we had to beat fucking Tom Brady. We got to slay this dragon. I mean, I know we
Andrew
won the
Luck
last
at that point.
Andrew Luck that year. Peyton Manning was with the Broncos.
Peyton Manning was with the Broncos.
True.
With Jacoby Jones.
You're right. Actually,
yeah.
I'm thinking, going through my head, I was thinking of Ray in the backfield reporting this, but that was the last game. That was the last game of the season. That wasn't the playoffs. You're right. I forgot.
No, that was the playoffs. That was the first game of the playoffs. When he went in, it was his last home game. Yeah.
That's right.
Rich, we were at that game.
I know. I know. I completely forgot.
Andrew Luck's rookie year, 2012. Yep.
Huh.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm fired up. So you kind of down for it, or you going to be at the beach?
I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about making the drive up. Yeah.
What are tickets looking like?
I don't look yet.
Cheapest tickets upper deck are like $5.
I mean, that's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah. If you want anything lower level, it's 800 plus.
I mean, I thought it'd be worse.
Yeah.
First
looked at a
team it's like the 50s here in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts. That atmosphere.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So, we've got some friends coming out next weekend who's a Steelers fan, and he texted me and he was like, "Hey, wouldn't feel bad or wouldn't blame you if you wanted to reschedule this and if you were planning on going to Baltimore." Yeah. I was like, "Nah, man." Like, and then after he sent me that, I glanced at like Super Bowl tickets, and I shouldn't be doing that. Cheapest ticket I can find on SeatGeek is like $8,000, $8,200 or something like that. Who can afford that?
Nobody, not real people.
You need to go to Vegas and hit it big and then buy tickets.
Yeah,
you got to go put $8,000 on black.
What if you go and lose and you're miserable? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I can't.
In the middle of the
It's not
desert,
that
team jump.
I spent $8,000 on a ticket. I probably lost money at the casino, if I'm guessing. Probably a couple grand at the casino, if I'm guessing. I'm coming back double digits, probably in the hole, wanting to kill myself, probably brutally hungover.
Yeah. Might be missing a limb. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I mean, maybe I'll make the trip because I didn't make the trip to New Orleans when they went down there.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe this year. And then, yeah, I mean, Christ, I could probably justify spending $1,000, right? Like $8,000. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
You can't get an average fan out to that game. It's all going to be like who's who of everybody going to that game. That pisses me off a little bit. That's another conversation.
If you ever pulled the trigger on that, I want to be there for when you tell Caitlin. I want you to tell her on the podcast because I want to see her.
You want to be there for our divorce?
You did what? Yeah. you want to be there for our divorce. It's great.
I mean, and I wouldn't blame her either.
All right,
That'd be dumb as shit. What do we got? We got a couple more things to go over.
Yeah, we got to talk about Lions Niners.
Lions, Niners.
You guys think the Lions have a chance? What do you guys think?
I do. I think the Lions have run their course. I think the Niners win the league.
Yeah. So you taking San Fran -7, and you're happy. You're happy with the -7.
Yes, I would. If it could be 9, and I would take it.
Yeah.
I
I think they return to form. I think 49ers return to form, especially if Debo ends up playing, even though he's probably not going to play receiver. I think he's just going to be there for run. I don't know. I just don't think he'll catch a ball with a shoulder brace. I'm rooting for the Lions. Lions, that's for sure.
I'm Team Lions, without a doubt. I love this story. I love
that.
Love Dan.
Love Dan
I
Campbell.
mean, Detroit and Baltimore are so similar. I can't not root for them.
Yeah, Baltimore and Detroit would be awesome. Something to look out for, though. They haven't put up the props for receiving yards for the Niners yet because Debo is 50-50. But Puka Nacua had, I think, like 180 yards. Mike Evans had 150 yards against the Lions the last 2 weeks. If Debo doesn't play, hammer Brandon Ayuk's over. He will go crazy.
Ayuk,
absolutely will torch this defense. And I know George Kittle can scare some people off, but the Lions seem to be kind of a suit for big time receivers, and Ayuk has been quiet this playoff. He was quiet last week, and he obviously didn't play much in the Week 18 game, but he's been quiet the last couple of weeks. He had a huge year. I can really see him taking off and going crazy.
Lions secondary kind of sucks, huh? I mean, now we know what they're drafting this year.
Yeah, I mean, Branch is going to have to cover Kittle.
Branch and CJGJ.
Yeah.
That's it.
And CJGJ, I think, is their best cover corner. Don't quote me on that, but
I don't know how good of a year he's having, really.
He didn't play much.
He got them hit the last
year.
Yeah.
But other than that, every sports talk show, and I mean, and to be completely honest, I haven't watched a ton of Lions games, but everybody says like the secondary is their issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, with as many weapons on offense as they have, and now that they have a week under their belt, I think the Niners return to form. They got their rust off. I think they're going to be a full go next week and ready to rumble.
I'm gonna zag. I'm gonna take the Lions. I'm gonna say they can pull the upset. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. I'm rooting for him. So who cares? Let's pick them.
Upset or cover.
I picked the same shit last week. I'm not picking the same shit this week. Go Lions.
I got Ravens. Niners in the Super Bowl. Ravens, Niners. The Super Bowl was at 47.
The script would tell you.
Yeah, man.
The Super Bowl colors are already purple and red.
Purple and red, baby.
Topic for next week before we cut this day this one off. topic for next week. Going to talk about the Hall of Fame candidates, who should get in, who should not get in, because that I think gets announced Super Bowl week. So
Love that.
definitely want to touch that, because I don't even know who's the finalist. So we got to look that up.
Yeah, we'll put that on deck. Also, let's just do a short blurb. Orioles, Maryland basketball, golf is golf.
I'll
Westburg.
question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Westbrook. Let me hit the golf thing real fast. How the hell does it work when an amateur wins a tournament? So this guy, I forget his name already,
Nick Dunlap.
he wins. What happens to that fucking money?
Second place gets first place. Second place gets first place money. Third place gets second place money, and everything just pushes down. In theory, he could have taken his $1.5 million in pro shop credits. That's something that I read. I'm not kidding. I'm literally not kidding. I read that on CNN.com.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That is an actual thing. He had the option of just, no amateur.
I would. Give me my money.
The reason we don't know is because this never happens. 1991 was the last time an amateur won a PGA Tour event. It was Phil Mickelson. This kid last year became the first player to ever win the U.S. Junior Amateur and the U.S. Amateur since Tiger Woods, the only player other than Tiger Woods. And in Saturday, when he shot 12 under 60, which is ridiculous, he tied Patrick Cantlay for the lowest round ever by an amateur. Like, this kid is got elite names in his company at a young age. 20 years old. He's a college kid, and he just beat the shit out of Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Sam Burns, all of these guys we watch week in and week out. Good for him.
You sound a little salty about this.
I am a little salty. The 12 people who listened to last week's show will know that I took Sam Burns, who was tied for first with 6 holes to play, $25 to win 750. 25 to win 750, and I go to work. I don't get to watch the end of it. I look at my phone after work. He double bogeyed 17 and 18. Didn't even come in the top 5. And it absolutely completely melted down. And this freaking amateur comes out of nowhere. Something we haven't seen since before I was fucking born. What a great $750. He did.
What a great opening podcast bet that you would have had. What a story that you would have had. Like, hey, my bet for golf this week, Sam Burns. Write it down.
30 to 1.
I put $25, 30 to 1, 750. And he just fucking
now we
hit the bed.
We gotta set the over under when he turns fucking pro. It's got to be like 2 days from now or something.
So he can turn pro anytime in the next 3 years. If he turns pro now, he is eligible. He has his cards through the 2026 season. And then he would be eligible to play in whatever tournaments he qualifies for. I don't know if this would qualify for the Masters, but it might. But he won the U.S. Amateur last year, so I'm imagining he's going to be playing in the Masters anyway.
He's already in, yeah. I know for a fact he's 100% in, yeah.
Go pro.
Yeah,
go pro. Get that dough.
Go pro, dude.
Go pro. Get that dough.
You just beat half of the best players in the world. You obviously got it. Go.
So, latest Orioles update. Looks like Westburg's holding the cease deal is the last thing that I think all of us have read. Unless you guys can add anything to that. Would love Jordan. I would love cease, but meh. We'll see.
Yeah. Not with what we have in the pipeline, pitching wise, even though our pitching is not as good as our position players, Westberg's too good. He's going to be a staple, and there's too much team control of Westberg as opposed to Cease, which I don't know how much Cease has left, but I know Westberg has more team control.
Yeah, hopefully they can figure out a way around that, because we all know that we obviously Gibby's gone, so
we need a top of the rotation pitcher along with Bradish.
We need
Kramer,
we need a late,
as a 4 or 5. He can't be our number 2.
Gotta be at least 1 or 2 more because we're gonna need some innings eaten up since we're losing a lot of innings with Gibby.
Yeah.
Maryland
This has
basketball.
Colby Mayo getting traded sometime during the season for a frontline starter. I can see it occurring now.
I was thinking
wouldn't be
Mayo or
surprised.
Norby is 100% what we're trying to get Steve. We're trying to give up Mayo or Norby and keep Westberg, and they're just saying the White Sox. If I were them, I would do the same thing. Say no, we want Westberg.
Yeah,
I don't want,
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I'd do the same thing if I were on their end. Maryland basketball shit the bed this week. I shouldn't say. They shit the bed against Northwestern. That was a great game against Michigan State.
Yeah, that came back against Michigan State. They looked great in the second half, but look, we're 0-5 in 1 possession games, and it life has told me anything. That's coming down to coaching. You can't win close games. It's on your coach, and I really hope that it's only his second year, so we can't give him too much shit now. But look, man, at some point you got Jameer Young is a borderline All-American. He's going to get votes for the All-American team. He is unbelievable. Every game you watch, he's the only player on the floor. It looks like he has any idea what's going on. Him and Reese. Dante Scott has gotten so much worse the last 3. I don't know what is going on with Maryland basketball.
Like you have spurts. You have spurts with Dante Scott, of 2 to 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, that's the old Dante Scott right there, and then he just disappears.
He reminds me of Devontae Dodd. He would just sit on the block and fucking move. Do something.
I forgot about that.
Go sell a hot dog.
My biggest problem with Turgeon was that players didn't get better. We would get freshmen that would be great. They would have promising seasons, and then they would never get better. Jake Layman was a perfect example. As a freshman, he came in. I thought he was going to be unbelievable. When he was a junior, he was the same player he was as a freshman. And it just feels like Dante Scott has had 2 years with Willard. He has not gotten better. And that's the number one red flag for me. Like I said, it's been a year and a half. We should give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt probably, but I don't see it so far.
I'm not writing him off yet. I like what I saw last year. I like that the team's picking up a little bit here. Definitely shouldn't lose to Northwestern. Would have loved to beat Michigan State. I still think Michigan State's going to be a borderline deep, possibly deep tournament team. They look pretty stacked, and we took advantage. I mean, they did shoot 60% almost from the field in the first half. So who the fuck's going to keep up with that shit? But when they came back down the earth, I mean, we beat them in the second half. So,
from what my buddy Jack Krabby says, who works at Maryland, the team responds to Willard. Like the kids love him. They respond to him.
He's got the locker room.
He's got the locker room, and I know for a fact Turgeon did not have that near the end of his time or his tenure. And Jack just says that the team loves. They love Willard.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. Again, still pretty early. I guess we're getting pretty close to mid season for Big Ten play, somewhere around there. But Big Ten's still wide open. So hopefully we got some better news here towards the end. You string a couple Big Ten wins together, you can be up there near the top because it's all 4-3, 3-4, 3-5. So wide open. Next week, hopefully we can join you and not be drinking our sorrows. You going to the game, Brian? You're working?
And I got to work.
Working.
Yeah.
Dusty might be at the game, so maybe we'll get some inside knowledge of that if he does go.
I'm scheduled to work right now, but that is very tentative.
Dustin can give him the old go fuck yourself. I'm going.
The old Oaken there. Yeah.
I'm in Indiana. I got some friends coming in from out of town, so I will not be traveling back for it. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week on the next one.
See you.